I definitely took us on this TBI tangent, but I've said my piece. So we can move on.
Before I start talking about time-based infections.
We're showing on the TikToks.
Where's the TikToks? Why are we talking about sales?
Did I play the TikTok game right? Was that what you're going for?
You did. There was no right or wrong way. Whatever your reaction was the right way.
Okay. I respond well to verbal affirmation, so I'll just put that out there.
Gosh, I wish my mom believed that when she was raising me. Don't even dive into that. Love you, Mom. Hello, and welcome to the Customer Engagement Lab. Today, we are joined by an absolute powerhouse in the business world. You can find her podcasting alongside Chris Walker at Refine Labs on their show, The State of Demand Gen, which I like to listen to on my bike rides. She's also the host of the Unwritten Playbook podcast, where she interviews sales, marketing, customer success innovators who are trying to break away from old school ways of thinking. Hate old school.
New school is where it's at.
That's right.
You old.
It's disgusting. And she always rocks the dark rimmed glasses as the queen of all things customer experience. It's Megan Bowen. Give it up in the house.
Yes. Welcome to NPR.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Megan, welcome to the show. And to kick things off, we prepared a game to play with you, and it's called Who's That LinkedIn Influencer? Are you
game
to play?
I'm game to play. I have no idea where
it's
this is going to
go. Don't give it away.
I'm so sorry, man.
Don't give it away.
You shouldn't have prepped me.
This is what marketers do. I put like 2 hours into this thing. Jeez.
Is the answer Chris Walker? No.
Damn it.
It's just Chris 3 times.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Am I going to have to guess based on tone of voice and content? Is this it? Is this how it goes?
I'm going to give you 3 clues.
Oh.
And then you have to guess.
All right.
Okay. So now we're ready. We're ready to play Who's That LinkedIn Influencer? All right. Clue number 1. This person talks a lot about the dark funnel. Clue number 2. This person hates traditional lead gen from the 2000s. Clue number 3. This person believes that word of mouth drives most buying decisions for mid-market SaaS companies.
So I think I called this. This one has to be Chris Walker.
I just thought I'd start it off easy, gang.
That's Luke Crocker.
It's his evil twin.
It looks like a high school headshot.
It does. But you were just talking about how handsome he was. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, clue number 1. She's an actor, an account executive, and a sales coach.
Can I guess? I know who it is.
Oh, shit.
I know who it is, too.
Sarah Brazier.
Damn.
AE at Gong.
These better get harder, Travis. I feel like
I was going to say clue number 2, she has glorious curly hair. And then number 3, she works at Gong.
Oh my God.
Guys, you need to step it up. I guess the first one before we started playing. I guess the second one after the first.
Take it easy.
What if the last one is someone with 50 followers?
It's my dad. Clue number 1, his catchphrase acronym is sadness.
Corporate bro.
Clue number 2, he makes hilarious sales reenactment calls. Clue number 3, he created an online community called the World of Bravado.
Ross Pomerantz, corporate bro.
You guys
got both the names.
Yeah. Boom. Do I get extra credit?
Wow. That's all I had. That took 3 hours.
That did not take you 3 hours.
No, I used the template. The template wasn't super easy to use, though. I'm just going to put it out.
It did look nice, Travis.
I thought it looked okay.
I like the effort, too.
Anyway, that was our segment, Who's That Influencer?
And that's the show, everybody.
Thank
you for listening.
Thanks so much for coming.
What did I win? What do I get for that? I mean, I crushed it.
You win the bottle of alcohol of your choice if you like to drink. If you don't, you get a trucker hat from Panda Doc. Those are your options.
How about
scraping the bottom of the barrel?
How about this? I would love to be featured in your next Who Is This LinkedIn Influencer quiz with your next guest. And just send me what you use as clues, because I'm dying to know how you would describe me.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
This segment might catch on. This was our first time using the segment. I thought
it'd take a couple of years, but we'll get there.
I can't see you guys either.
That's because I don't have video on. What am I doing? There we go.
I like to see you.
I'm scared.
All right.
All right, let's jump
What's
into
next? Let's go.
let's jump into our next one. Megan, for those of you for those listening that don't know you, the majority of your 15-year career has been in customer success leadership, and you've served on both the front lines and you've built and led some amazing teams from scratch, places like ZocDoc, Grubhub, Managed by Q. And on this show, it's a business comedy show. In case I forgot to mention that. Sometimes people get on the show and they're like, "Oh, we're supposed to have fun." I forgot.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
why.
well, he's trying to be funny.
He's
I
trying.
can tell, but it's not funny.
We have some TikToks that we'd like to get your reaction on as it relates to customer success.
All right, let's do this.
Okay.
I'm having fun so far, by the way. So far, so good.
Thank goodness. Okay.
Honestly, I feel like our show is mostly TikTok.
Is there a problem with that?
No.
Okay.
I'm not on TikTok, but I feel like it's something I should be considering.
Oh yeah.
It's part of the dark funnel. Okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me pull this one up. All right.
You want my reaction to the TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
Those are real chips, by the way.
So, all right, can I get into my reaction?
Yes.
So this, I think that what this whole video was trying to imply was like a demanding customer, demanding stuff from a sales rep, and probably like paying homage to the stereotype of the customer is always right. And I've actually written about this before. The customer is not always right. The customer is, from their perception is their reality. And you have to understand what that is so you can deal with them effectively. But just because the customer thinks something is the case or believes that they are entitled to something doesn't make it true. And so the way I like to flip that is it's not bending over backwards to do whatever the customer wants. You should be making sure that you're confident enough in interacting with them to ultimately get them the desired outcome that they wanted before they started working with you. But you need to acknowledge that they have a perception, and you need to, have strong enough EQ and empathy to get where they're coming from so that you can effectively navigate that conversation. So that's what I think about that TikTok.
That was beautifully said. And it was inspired by a real story that happened here at Panadog like 2 weeks ago. And unfortunately happens not very often, but every once in a while, we have these rogue coupons laying around. They're like
Every once in a while.
As
somebody who's sold at Panadog, I'd say it's a weekly affair.
Okay, maybe it's a weekly affair. There was somebody demanding that they get a certain percentage off because they found it's
always ridiculous. It's like 3 months free. It's like, what?
It's an expired.
Yeah.
It was a time-based incentive that was used as part of a promotion of something, and they found it and they're like, I want this now.
Do you want my reaction to time-based incentives and discounts overall?
Yes.
I don't think my heart can take it right now, Megan, but go for it.
You today, I think.
You could have prevented that ugly scenario from ever even occurring if you just valued your product for what it is. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a proud PandaDoc user. We use PandaDoc at Refine Labs. And it's a good product that works well for contracts and signing. So stand behind your product. You don't need to discount. Get rid of the coupons. Tell your CRO that we can hit our numbers without time-based discounts. There are other ways to create urgency. So that's my hot take on that.
I would love to see Patrick's reaction to that hot take. Let's take a deep breath.
I used to believe that too. And you can 100% sell that way. I sold at Yelp, and the word discount was a slur. Like, you're not allowed to use discounts there. It just wasn't possible. But somebody showed me like a process around it where it's not like coupon based, but it's based around 4 tenets. One, getting what you're talking about here, product concept, and understanding how you can help them first, and getting them to answer 4 gates that we use. One of them is around any red flags in it. Is it actually going to help you accomplish a goal or solve a problem? Is it simple and easy to use? And are you ready to recommend it? If so, then we have another option if you want to move now. If not, 30% of people come just like Megan do, they buy at full price, and we could totally look at that. Which one do you want to see? And 90% of people are like, yeah, show it to me if they're ready to go. If not, then cool. Then we can look at what we have here. And that's worked really well for me.
Humans have a high capacity for rationalizing any decision. So I get you.
Rationalize that TBI all day.
Damn.
I think there are people that use it more, and people have their philosophies. Like I think about people I've heard on our sales team that are like, I try my damnedest to never use a TBI.
Yeah. You're going to close less deals.
Can't believe that's also an acronym, TBI.
It sounds really gross.
I definitely took us on this TBI tangent, but I've said my piece. So we can move on.
Yeah. Before I start talking about time-based infections.
Trevor, show another TikToks.
Where's the TikToks? Why are we talking about sales?
Did I play the TikTok game right? Was that what you're going for?
You did.
All
there
right.
was no right or wrong way. Whatever your reaction was the right way.
Another
Okay.
bottle of liquor for you.
I respond well to verbal affirmation. So I'll just put that out there.
Gosh, I wish my mom believed that when she was raising me. Don't even dive into that. Love you, Mom.
It's a good blooper.
The next one is also customer success related.
Okay.
This one is based off of I went over to one of our customer success managers. I said, what's the most annoying thing that sales does that pisses you off? And he's like, how long do you have? And I was like, can you just give me one thing? It's for a TikTok. And he was like, okay. And this is what we came up with. So let me pull it up.
This is going to be a good one.
And let me switch tabs.
Your whole vibe in that is fantastic.
Thank you. So for those that are just listening, my caption on this one is when you only lie slightly to the prospect about the product roadmap instead of completely making things up. And
don't get me started on expectation management.
There you go. we brought in somebody to stir the pot today.
Yeah.
This is the worst. This is the worst. And so let me tell you how I feel about this by telling you a story. So I sell for Refine Labs. And when I am on a sales call, I sell like a customer success person because I am telling them the honest truth, zero exaggerations. They're like, oh, well, could you maybe do this? Nope, that's not what we do. I'll even point out things that could cause it to not be a good fit, even if they do check off a lot of boxes. You want to know the irony to this? I close a ton of deals.
I was going to say, there we go.
And people tell me like, wow, I really appreciate your honesty. So that when I'm answering other objections, they trust me. And so I say, lean into it, lean into your flaws, lean into the no's, because you'll be surprised if you do that a couple of times and are just really honest, you actually create a level of trust that you'll never create if you're just like, yes, 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 yes. Who wants to be a yes man, really, at the end of the day? So for all you sellers out there, if you actually care about your customer being successful in the long term, just tell the truth.
So in my experience, for some context, Megan, I was a college admissions counselor for 2 years. And so I sold college education to thousands of high school seniors and their families. And when I first started, I just wanted to say yes to everything. Like natural inclination is to just be like, I didn't want to disappoint, the customer or the prospect. And after a while, it like ate away at my soul because I was selling something. Like I went to this was my college, my alma mater, and I was essentially selling myself and like my outcomes and my education and where I'm going in life. And I definitely transitioned into more of just being like brutally honest with stuff and knowing that there were enough families that this was the right fit for them. That I did like, and it came up a lot when they would ask about like, so what is the computer science major like? And I'm like, it's not good. This is not the right fit for you. I don't want you to come here. It's a lot of money. And then like, I'm here at the school. Like you could come in here and be like, you know what? You motherfucker, you sold me this $250,000 degree and this program's garbage.
Is it that much?
Yeah. For 4 years.
Yep.
The tech sales.
I'll add one caveat to that is you don't have to be an asshole while you're telling the truth. Not that you were,
Correct.
but just people are like, oh, I'm brutally honest. And they think that's like a blank check to like be a jerk. And so you can be honest and be a truth teller and be kind.
It's a good call out because brutally honest Travis is like, yeah, you know what? I just don't think that this would be the best fit. I have a couple friends that went through the program that were disappointed. And I think you might be better off looking at some of these schools that are really similar to us, but have a better program.
Yeah, that was perfect.
That's me being brutally honest.
Megan, what are some examples of someone using that as an excuse to be an asshole?
Well, I think personally, I've experienced this in a few different ways. Performance reviews and like feedback conversations. I'm sure you guys can pick up that I'm a stellar employee and performer. And sometimes people will like want to deliver or essentially give you some constructive criticism, but they do it in a way that makes you feel like shit. And it's completely unnecessary. And not that you have to do the like, what do they call it? The like positive feedback sandwich or something, like the good thing, the bad thing, the good thing. That also doesn't work. But it's just really about being kind and direct while being empathetic and really understanding where the other person is coming from. So I've experienced that in performance review feedback. I've been in intense like executive meetings or this or that, where we're debating or arguing. And if someone wants to play the CEO card or this card, they like cut you down and get you to shut up, So I've been in those situations, but that's not who I am. So regardless of how I've been treated, I try to lead by example and be kind. I will also do another clarification. Being nice and being kind are two different things. And you can still deliver bad news, constructive feedback, things that are hard to hear, which arguably is not necessarily nice, but it's the kind thing to do. Do that in private, not in front of a room full of people. Ask if someone's ready to receive tough feedback before you deliver it. And then ask them their perception of, what they think of that feedback so you can understand both sides, right? There are ways to handle these types of things better than a lot of people do.
That's very true. I think Jason Bay, who came on the show 2 weeks ago, wanted to clarify the difference between nice and kind. Because we were talking, what was it about? Do you remember?
Selling Panda Doc?
Morning.
No.
Selling Panda Doc?
Making TikToks.
I guess
LinkedIn influencers.
niceness can sometimes be like self-serving too, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you
people
almost
pleasing.
Preserve yourself by being nice.
It can be cowardly.
Wait, dive into that. I don't know what you mean.
Like I've seen salespeople that I've coached say, "Oh, I'm just trying to be nice," and it's like, "Are you though?" It feels like it's more to preserve a feeling of rejection than actually being nice.
Or I want to give them a discount. I just want to be nice instead of being kind and telling them the immense value their Panda Doc subscription will provide and that they should pay full price.
Sounds
Let me
like
show
Megan.
you this ROI calculator. Right
Megan needs to chat with our CRO and our revenue goals.
I'm not coming back for 30%.
We're watching that TikTok again.
No, we're not watching that
Okay.
TikTok again. Okay, let's see what I have next for us. Patrick has stated that Chris Walker is his favorite marketer. But in the CS world, I'd say, Megan, that you and our friend Gemma over at Chili Piper are two of my favorite CS leaders. I think you guys have done some podcasts together.
We did. I was on her show. She's great.
She's been on our show. She is great.
She's super cool.
She told us a crazy story about somebody doing some interesting engagement and outreach to a customer where they baked a handmade cake and put the proposal inside the cake and then had it delivered to the prospect,
Which is insane.
which is
Wow.
insane.
Also inefficient. And how are you going to read that proposal with all the icing and cake all over it?
What I like to do before I eat my proposal and my icing is I like to listen to other podcasts that our guests have been on and where they've been interviewed. And I listened to an interview you did with Daniel Murray on the Marketing Millennial Show back in January.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a clip I heard that I thought was relevant to our show that I wanted to share. So let me pull it up here.
Ooh, this is a clip of me.
Yes, this is a clip of you.
It's actually a TikTok of you that you forgot you recorded.
We implemented a milestone program, which was pretty cool. Like when they reached, I guess.
I also just want to point out, this is the first time listening to this show. I didn't expect Dan to sound like that.
Yes.
He sounds so relaxed.
He's
want
very
whatever-
chill.
I
He's
want
very
whatever
chill.
he's having.
Kava.
Like threshold in their account. Like, oh, you just, for example, like if it was Grubhub, like, oh, you just reached 1,000 orders on Grubhub. Congrats. Like that was like a cool moment they had. So, but what is your like balance of like when things should be automated versus not?
Yeah. So I personally believe the first like 90 days that a customer is interacting with your company sets the tone for the entire relationship. So that includes, I think the tail end of the marketing funnel, the sales process, and then onboarding with customer success. So I think that 90-day period, each of those teams will influence the customer's perception of the company and the experience. And so I think you need to be really careful about automating anything within that window, because I think that's the most crucial window to make the right impression, to set the right expectations, to ensure that it's a proper fit customer, and to really invest in a thorough, intentional, thoughtful onboarding process so they're truly set up for success.
So
Not bad.
that was your serious voice. It sounded good.
Very serious.
Very serious. With that said, I'm curious what you do in the first 90 days at Refine Labs to surprise and delight customers during that kind of like critical window. And then I have a question for you, Patrick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a pretty prescriptive onboarding process. We, go through our sales process. When a customer is ready to get started, we have internal meetings to do a strong knowledge transfer from sales to the account team. We then have the kickoff call. We provide a ton of information to the client, not too much, just the right amount of information before the kickoff call so that they can be set up for success to get things going as quickly as possible. From a surprise and delight standpoint, I really like to look at that in two different ways. So one is on a customer by customer basis. They have different things going on, and usually there's an opportunity for us to deliver some quick wins in the onboarding process or over the course of the first 30, 60, 90 days as it relates to what they're trying to do and the goals that they're trying to achieve. So always finding those opportunities to go above and beyond, to accelerate our timeline to meet a deliverable that they have, ultimately driving towards why they decided to work with us. But then on the other side, you have surprise and delight from a relationship standpoint. And so I've instituted a program at Refine Labs that I've instituted at several prior companies. I call it customer love. And so there's a process whereby we make it a point either through icebreakers on kickoff calls or recording personal information we learn about our clients, or keeping an eye out about what's going on, where we'll send them surprise gifts. So they get a round of funding, or we find out our point of contact is pregnant or bought a new house, or they reach some type of company milestone they're excited about. We will send personalized gifts to those people, acknowledging that, and they don't really expect that to be the case. And so there's surprise and delight on let's accelerate timeline to desired outcomes and time to value. And then there's surprise and delight of being a human and finding opportunities to capitalize on some of those small gestures. People love that. Makes them feel good.
I just bought a house and I'm not pregnant yet, but maybe one day. So Patrick, you should send me something nice.
Just reroute the bottle of tequila you owe me to Travis.
We're on the third bottle of liquor, actually.
Damn it. She said no to the trucker hat.
I know. For the record, I only like to drink white wine or champagne.
There we go.
Use Zinfandel?
No, Sauvignon Blanc.
All right. Good to know. See, this is what we needed to know.
From New Zealand or the Loire Valley in
Very
France.
specific.
That's
I'll drink wine in a can.
out of a bag or a box.
Oh, I love bag wine.
If that's the only thing available, but for a gift.
What about a little Mad Dog 2020?
It doesn't take much to surprise and delight Patrick. You would be surprised how little the bar is, or how low the bar is.
I'm delighted by pretty much everything. I hear you have a question for me.
I do. What are we doing in the first 90 days to surprise and delight our customers that you know of, besides automating and sending a shit ton of emails to them, which Megan would tell you not to do?
There's like a SWAT team of people on our new customers. It's like, oh, I wouldn't say overkill, but it's almost humorous.
Yeah.
It's
Is there too many people?
I wouldn't say too many, but it's way more than you would expect. Like if they were all in a room, it'd be like, this is kind of cramped. You know? We have a onboarding rep who handles like the actual implementation. And then there's a customer success manager that's like your point of contact.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an account manager, like if you need to buy more stuff or you have questions about the contract or anything financial. And then there's like a support team for like technical stuff.
That's a lot of people.
So many people.
You want my
And
hot
it's like-
take on that? No.
Please put the serious voice on. I want the hot take.
Hot take.
Let's get it.
Finish your point, and then I want to talk about this.
I mean, that's most of my point. Most people I think are like, wow, usually when we look at software like this, they just log us on and go, have fun. And then it's just like nothing. So it might be overkill, but they're like, wow, I feel incredibly supported because there's a person for every specific thing I need. And I have a point of contact I can just call and talk to. So that's the biggest thing I'd say we do.
Do you ever get questions like, oh, who am I supposed to talk to for this? Or do they call their CSM and then they're like, sorry, you need to call your account manager for that? Do those things happen?
Occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't hear enough
The
about it.
CSM's like the SDR of the post-sale world.
So I believe that if you have a really technical implementation that takes a long time and requires specific technical expertise, it can make sense to have an onboarding person. I don't know the inner workings of PandaDoc, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there.
Sure.
The CSM AM, I prefer that to be one person because you think, oh, the AM, they're more sales focused. They can have those tough upsell or expansion conversations. But if you empower your CSM to have them implement the tool properly, and you're suggesting an upsell or an expansion that's in the best interest of the customer, you don't need two different people to do it. That's my perspective, though. And there are a lot of companies that have the model that you described, but I worry that we've gotten to like assembly line, over segmenting everything. And it makes it really hard to develop a relationship with someone if you have like 5 million people that they're talking to. So for what it's worth.
What do you think about using an AM purely to like develop accounts proactively, where it's like
That's what a
business units
CSM should be doing. Like there's no reason that the CSM and AM role can be combined. You already said you have a support team, so you should be centralizing all reactive work to your support team and your CSM is proactive, both on a relationship and a revenue standpoint with the customer. But this is the mindset shift. If you just focus on doing what's right for the customer and getting them to use your product effectively, the revenue will follow as a byproduct of it. And sure, the CSM can create opportunities and proposals in PandaDoc and have conversations about money. That's how I've structured my teams, and it has worked well.
I can't wait to send this over to some people on our CS team, have them listen to it. And they're going to be like, first of all, the two of you are idiots. And I'm like, yeah, we already knew that. Second of all,
wait, what?
That is not how our CS program is structured. We're like, oh, okay. Maybe you should have taught us.
It's probably definitely structured.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the thing is, you have to think about, it's probably set up that way because that's what your company thinks is best to retain and expand customers, versus what if I was the customer? Would I want to have to deal with the salesperson, the onboarding person, the CSM, the AM, support? Who do I go to for what? Who's my person? It's confusing.
It is. I just want them all to hold my hand and tell me it's going to be okay. My last question that we usually like to end the show with is, what is something that you have purchased, whether that be in your personal life or in your professional life, where somebody really nailed the marketing or the sales?
So I think my best example of this, it's a consumer product. Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure. I like hearing about those too.
I can think of a B2B product if I have to. Rent the Runway. It was, I heard about them through word of mouth. I had several friends that were like, you have to try this. They sent me a code. I had 5 dresses on my doorstep, 48 hours later. And there's Rent the Runway drop-offs, everywhere I turn. It's awesome. From beginning to end, seamless, easy. I don't forget how much they charge me and I don't care.
Patrick, you look so confused. I can just sense it.
The box thing, are they
it's women's fashion.
No, I know. Are they postal boxes? You just
no, they're these bags that have the dresses in them that have been dry cleaned, and they're these rectangular black soft bags, and they just show up on your doorstep. And then when you're done, you can put them back in the bag and send them back dirty.
It's funny because I asked what was good sales or marketing experience she had, and
word of mouth.
And she said word of mouth, and then she talked about the CS, like a true CS leader.
Mm-hmm. That's actually what matters at the end of the day.
Is that CX, a customer experience? She was like, it's super easy. I don't care.
It was all the way through. It was from awareness to conversion to enjoyment and retention, right? The experience is the whole thing. The marketing and the sales piece is a small part of it. And if you're really good at that, you barely notice it.
Damn.
This is some dark funnel shit right here. Full circle.
Web funnel.
That's our show. That is our show.
Is that an hour already?
No, we usually do about 30-40 minutes.
That time just flew by.
We tell people complained that our shows were too long.
Oh, me and Chris do 2.5 hours to manage live.
I've scrolled to hour 2 with you and Chris, and you're both just like, holy shit, I can't do any more, but let's keep going. The dark funnel deserves it.
We serve the dark funnel.
But in all seriousness, what can we plug for you? Obviously, the State of Demand Gen, go check it out. The Unwritten Playbook podcast is amazing. I love your guests on there. So many of them are people that I really admire. And I'm like, ooh, I want to bring some of these people into our show. But where can people find you, and what would you like to plug? What can we plug for you?
I don't need to plug much. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm not on any other social media platform. I don't have Facebook or Twitter or anything. So LinkedIn is where it's at. And yeah, I guess you could go to refinelabs.com. It's cool either way. But that's it. I'm here for the people, not for me.
Spoken so humble with so much humility and love.
I don't even know what humility is.
I think that was a dig. I wasn't that humble, was it?
No, because you're like, I'm not plugging any.
Yeah, I don't need to plug anything.
Yeah.
For the people.
If somebody's like, yo, yes on a plug, I'm like, how long do you have?
Should we plug PandaDoc? I legit use PandaDoc.
There you go.
Wow. Not scripted to everybody.
Not scripted.
Not scripted at all. We didn't tell her to say that.
Yeah.
I bought a printer and I have the option to print stuff out to sign it or just upload it to PandaDoc and sign it myself. My printer is dusty. I use PandaDoc.
Save ink and paper.
So much better that way. Megan, thanks for being such a good sport. We appreciate you. Big fans and obviously love all the stuff y'all are doing. So keep it up.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for hanging out with us today on the Customer Engagement Lab. For more of Travis and Patrick's chaotic energy, subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast player. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you would make our hearts smile if you left a super quick rating of the show. Just tap the number of stars you think the show deserves. It'll take you 2 seconds, I promise. Till next time.